Good afternoon. My name is Ed Coet, and I would appreciate you giving me just a few minutes of your time to share and express my views with you on the issue of illegal immigration. As a retired United States Army officer and professional educator, and also as a disabled veteran, I hope you will agree that I not only have a right to have an opinion, but that I deserve to be listened to, if not agreed with. So please, at least respect me enough to listen to me just this one time. I'll try to be as brief as I can. A while ago, I received an email that made an impression on me. It was about two families headed up by two guys, Joe Legal and Jose Illegal. Both families have two parents, two children, and they live in California. But the story could just as easily take place in Texas, Colorado, Arizona, or really any other state. Joe Legal works in construction. He has a Social Security number and he's making $25 an hour with taxes deducted. Jose Illegal also works in construction, but he does not have a Social Security number and he's getting paid $15 in cash per hour, but he's getting paid under the table. Now get ready. Please pay attention. Joe Legal at $25 an hour or 40 hours per week is making $1,000 a week or $52,000 per year. Now take 30% away for state and federal tax, and Joe Legal is left with $31,231 per year. Jose Illegal at $15 per hour at 40 hours per week is getting $600 per week or $31,200 per year. And so he's left with his $31,200 per year, which is only $31 per year less than Joe Legal. Okay? But Joe Legal also has to pay for his medical and dental insurance, which is limited coverage for his family at $600 per month. It's a cheap policy and the only one he can afford. That's $7,200 per year. So Joe Legal now has $24,031 per year. Jose Illegal has full medical and dental coverage through the state and local clinics at a cost of, you guessed it, nothing, $0 per year. So Jose Illegal is still left with $31,200 per year. I hope you're following around so far. Now, Joe Legal makes too much money, and therefore he's not eligible for food stamps or welfare. Joe Legal pays $500 per month for food, or $6,000 per year. Now Joe Legal only has $18,031 left. Jose Illegal has no documented income, and he's eligible for food stamps and welfare. So Jose Illegal still has his $31,200. Joe Legal pays rent of $1,200 per month or $14,000 per year. So Joe Legal now is left with $9,631. On the other hand, Jose Illegal receives $500 a month federal rent subsidy. Jose Illegal pays out that $500 per month or $6,000 per year. Jose Illegal still has his $31,200. Joe Legal pays $200 per month or $2,400 for insurance. Joe Legal is now left with $7,231. Jose Illegal says, we don't need no stinking insurance. And he still has it, you guessed it, his $31,200. Now Joe Legal has to make his $7,231 stretch to pay for utilities and gasoline and all other incidentals. Jose Illegal has to make his $31,200 stretch to pay for utilities, gasoline, and whatever he decides to send to his relatives back in Mexico or some other country. Now Joe Legal works overtime on Saturdays and gets a part-time job after work to make ends meet. Jose Illegal has his nights and weekends off to enjoy his family. Joe Legal and Jose Illegal's children both attend the same school. Joe Legal pays for his children's lunches, while Jose Illegal's children get a government-sponsored lunch because none of his income is recorded, so he's considered to be low income. Joe Illegal's children have an after-school ESL program, but Joe Legal's children just go home. We still following? Okay. Joe Legal and Jose Illegal both enjoy the same police and fire services, but Joe paid for them and Jose didn't pay for it. Do you get it now? If you vote for or support any politician that supports illegal aliens, you're part of the problem. It's way past time to stand up for America and Americans. The fact of the matter is that illegal aliens are really getting a great deal at the expense of American taxpayers. They're receiving benefits while working, and then these benefits are not available to working American citizens. It's good to be compassionate and charitable, but it's downright stupid to allow yourself to be taken advantage of. Illegal aliens are milking the American taxpayer, and many of your elected representatives are helping them to do it. Now, how does that make you feel? Isn't it time to throw the bums out? I sure think so. Now, this part of the message is expressly for Hispanic Americans. We know of your proud heritage. It's a great and wonderful heritage, and you should be proud of it. We all appreciate the personal service and sacrifice of Hispanic Americans, especially those who have courageously served our country in the armed forces, and many of whom still do. I'm proud of my heritage also, but I'm not confused about who I am and where my loyalties lie. I'm not a Hispanic American. I'm not a German American. I'm not a French American. I'm not an Italian American or an African American or an anything else American. I'm just a proud American and only an American. I'm loyal to no other country than my own, the United States of America. It's time for you to decide if you're a true American or an American with divided loyalties with another country. You can have Mexican ancestry and be proud of it, but you cannot be both a Mexican and an American. You need to decide. It's one or the other. It's your choice. But if you pick Mexican or any other country, then please go live in that country to which you pledge your allegiance. It's time for Hispanic Americans to stand up for America and Americans and no longer support illegal aliens. You are one of us, not them. Your country needs you too. Together we must stand against illegal immigration. Our country and our countrymen can no longer afford it. I hope you can see that. Well, what are you waiting for? Pass it on and have a wonderful day. Thank you.